Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. In the exciting 2 domination drops coming your way in this video, we are also going to be taking a deep dive into another hero mech. This is the light hero Piranha, known as the Cipher. Quite possibly the worst mech in the entire game, definitely the worst light mech in the game. Now, the reason we're focusing on this mech specifically, and heroes in general as of late, is because right now, at the time of the release of this video, PGI is sponsoring the 2023 Big Beach event. This is almost 2 months long, and if you can complete all of the necessary redemption points and loot bags that you're going to get along the way, you will also be able to choose free hero mechs with mech bays. You will have 1 light mech, 1 medium, 1 heavy, and 1 assault hero mech. So I want to bring you as much information as possible on the hero mechs so that when the opportunity comes for you to choose your hero mech, you'll feel confident in the choice you're about to make. And as with any deep dive on a mech review, we've got to start at the beginning on the Piranha hero, the Cipher. Now, when you say Piranha, it's a very polarizing statement made within the game, and hopefully by the end of this video you're going to see why, and you're going to also understand why it's the worst mech. So let's start at the beginning, right from the mech factory, and take a look at the stock loadout. So popping the hood on a stock Piranha Cipher, you can see very quickly it has 2 heavy medium lasers, 7 ER micro lasers, 6 machine guns, and a top speed of 145.8 kph. And that right there should raise some eyebrows, because all of this is squeezed into a 20-ton chassis, and this little mech is sporting a 69.4 alpha strike. So that is an obscene amount of weapons in such a small, fast-moving mech. And that's why I say, if you're not piloting one of these, definitely is the worst mech in the game. Definitely the worst light mech that you want to see on the battlefield, because this thing is small, super fast, and that 69.4 alpha puts it up there with some of the assaults. Any of you who have encountered this on the battlefield and found yourself cored out and killed in like 30 seconds know exactly what I mean. And this only gets further amplified once we look into the quirks that this little mech has. Looking at the quirks, there's not many of them. It's got some very modest structure quirks. There's a +3, mostly +4s to structure, not even armor. And of course it comes with the 30% C-bill bonus to boost your C-bill earnings per match, making this an excellent mech again for farming if you need C-bills. But there's not a lot there as far as heat management, ranges, all the typical boosts, armor, different things that you're used to seeing. Those are very, very modest quirks, and yet this mech is super fast with powerful punches that can land on the battlefield. And hopefully now it has become very clear to you why this is the worst thing you can see on the battlefield. And to illustrate all of this even further, let's get into the action on the drop that was playing out in the background while we had our discussion. Out of the gate, I ran to the center, held the domination point, then I broke off and started engaging various targets of opportunity around the board. Along the way, we managed to wipe out a dire wolf with an open center torso, and now we're kind of in trouble because we've lost our leg, and that takes away all of that fabulous mobility that I was talking about and all of that speed. But this is still a super deadly mech, as the Black Lantern found out. We even got some good punches in on the enemy Atlas. However, We're now up against the Viper, and the two of us are duking it out, but I don't think I'm going to make it. Sure enough, he takes me out. But going over to the end screen, look at this. 1 kill, 6 assists, 5 components destroyed, 606 damage done, all within just over 5 minutes on the battlefield. Moving on to our next drop. This is also a domination match, but this time on Rubelite Oasis, and I've started the game out by holding the capture point until more of my team can filter into the area, and then I will move on and do my shenanigans all across the board. And while this drop plays out in the background, it'll allow us to continue our discussion about the Piranha Cipher. Now, many of you were looking at the weapons loadout, since it's pretty enormous. It takes up a lot of real estate in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. And a lot of you also have noticed that I did not stay with the stock build, as is pretty typical, I have to admit. Looking under the hood on my mech, you can see that I've definitely made some changes to the stock loadout. My mech is sporting 4 ER micro lasers, 4 ER small lasers, 6 machine guns, and I have a top speed of 139.8 kph. Now, there is some actual thought behind some of these changes that I've made to the mech. Yes, there is a method to the madness, or, well, some of you are saying I'm just kind of mad, because I dropped the 2 heavy medium lasers, and yes, those weapons are capable of dealing quite a bit of damage. However, what I'm looking at is you've got a lot of face time or burn time to hold those weapons on point to get a full burn in. You're also going to have a lot more heat, and you will also have a longer cooldown phase. So on this mech, for what I want to use it for, the heavy medium lasers did not make sense for me in my playstyle. You can feel free to keep them. There's nothing wrong with it. It just didn't work for me. Now, the other problem I ran into is the stock mech had 7 ER micro lasers. And you know what that means. Yep, you're going to be into ghost heat territory, especially if you fire them all at once. You can try to break them up into a group of, say, 4 or 3 to help limit that, but you're probably going to run into ghost heat. And then you had the 6 machine guns, which I elected to keep because those are a heat neutral type weapon. The biggest change that I made was I actually downgraded the engine a little bit because I needed the extra weight savings. So in the end, it looks something like this. My speed dropped from 145.8 kph down to 139.8 kph. I also gave up a bit of damage. I went from a 69.4 alpha down to a 62 alpha. What I gained with it is heat management. The stock loadout had a heat delta of 1.18. My build has a heat delta of 1.38. So this mech definitely can get in close. I don't have as much going on as far as heat problems, and that allows me to stay on target, engaging the entire time. If I run a little hot, I can just let my machine guns do the talking while I cool down with those lasers. Also, because I'm splitting between 2 different groups, 4 ER micro lasers and 4 ER small lasers, that is going to limit somewhat the ghost heat buildup that I'm going to get into with those weapon systems. And that's going to allow me to do more damage over time for a longer period. Let me know your thoughts on the heavy medium lasers in the comments below. Also, feel free to post your builds in the comment sections. There's always pilots looking for additional suggestions. I just went the direction I did because that heavy medium laser burn time, I wind up spreading the damage around to multiple components, where the shorter duration burst type weapons, I'm hoping to focus all of that energy into one component, open it up so that my machine guns can do their work. Now, jumping into the action that's been playing out on this particular drop, I used my mech's great speed ability to go on a flanking mission in behind the enemy units. I was really on a definitive search and destroy mission trying to hunt down their missile unit, and sure enough, we found the Nova Cat. We were able to engage him. His LRMs couldn't touch us, and now we chewed on this awesome. And while we weren't credited with the kill, I'm sure all of that damage I was racking up took out some heat sinks, and that contributed to his overheat death. And now we've managed to find a Kodiak with his back to us. Now he's open front torso, so I'm actually hoping he either spins around. There we go. Give me that beautiful front torso. Put my machine guns to work on those open components. He's not sure what to do. We've got him where we want him, and sure enough, there is our kill, taking out 100 tons of Angry Bear. And here's a quick reminder, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you give it a big thumbs up as a like. And if you're enjoying this type of content, why not become a member of the Sleepless Nights Gaming Army? Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future content like this. And thank you guys so very much for supporting the channel and helping it grow. Now, after the Kodiak, we've managed to find a supernova, and he doesn't know which way to go but up as he tries to spin away from us, desperately trying to avoid our machine guns and lasers, but we're having none of it. We're just going to be cheeky and keep coming at him from different angles, and he can't see where he's getting shot from. Now, I was face tanking. That probably wasn't the best move, but we managed to get a lot of damage done before the tactical shutdown kicks in. The heat is real on this mech, so again, be aware whatever build you decide to go with, make sure you fully understand that heat scale. Now, I bailed out jumping off the top. That didn't do my left leg much good, and that's where we find the Vindicator, and he's trying to get away from us as well. I've got to be careful. He's fairly fresh. As long as he doesn't focus my leg, which he's looking down. Don't look down. There's nothing to see there. It's just a leg. Leave my legs alone. So I'm going to bail on him, let him get reoriented on somebody else, and then I'll come at him from a different direction. The sheer speed of my mech has allowed me to circle around and get in behind and re-engage this target, and while I'm focused on taking his back from him, his teammate focuses me and manages to take me out. Moving over to one of my teammates, we're going to ride along, see how this one ends. It's 8-10, and I don't think we're going to pull this one out, especially since after the tactical shutdown, the enemy scored a kill somewhere else on the board. So our little fleet is last man standing, not an enviable position to be in, and there is a light mech on him as well, so it's not like he can use his speed to disengage and come at them from a different angle. And now it's 2v1 in the center, and I'm sure that our friend the Vindicator is going to be coming up over the hill any second now. The fleet's making a good run for it. Ooh. Oh, that right leg is ready to pop. That was a risky move, bailing off the top deck like that. Oh, there, they've managed to sweep the leg, and now it is all but over for our poor little fleet. And they're going to take him out of the game, bringing this drop to a close. But switching over to the end screen, we wound up with 1 kill, 3 assists, 893 damage done in a little over 8 minutes on the battlefield.